Hi, I'm Paul Battaglia. Welcome to section 9.1, circles and parabolas. I'm joined today by Carla and Dave. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
And in this section, we'd like to cover a couple things as you plan out your section and get ready for your lesson. We're going to talk a little bit about things we want our students to know, how we want them to pick up on certain things, and then maybe a way we can assess them, maybe a little bit different than your typical quiz or test or something like that. So Dave, how do you like to introduce the idea of circles here with your students?
Yeah, so whenever I start with circles, I like to use a graphing software, graphing calculator.
Sure.
And start with the most basic circle function, x squared plus y squared equals r squared. And from there, show them what would happen if I were to add 3 to the x. What would happen if I subtract 5 from the y, or make the r 7 or 12. By adjusting the numbers, they can start seeing how the circle transforms and moves around from the base equation.
Sure.
So that way they're able to better understand what h and k and r all represent.
Okay, perfect.
And some of the mistakes that I see students make sometimes that I have to remind them of usually is that circles are not technically functions.
Right.
So whenever you square root the r on both sides, you have to have the plus or minus sign. Otherwise, you leave out the bottom or the top.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And as we talk about the features of circles, and then we even navigate into parabolas, terminology is important here too. So obviously the center and the radius of a circle. Students are going to, they've seen parabolas, they've seen quadratic functions before, but maybe not like this. They haven't seen what a focus is or a directrix or things like that. So we want to make sure that they do know their terminology, spend some time on that. You can always, as a warm-up, the following day, you can always do a quick little mobile poll if you want, or something to kind of get them just telling you and showing you that they know what these definitions are. Now that's one way to assess them, but now let's say we've completed this section. I don't really want to give a quiz on 9.1 because I've done that, kind of been there, and I want to try something different. So Carla, tell us a little bit about something that I could try with my students.
I love this section, and it's a lot of fun because I rarely give them a quiz. It's a picture.
Right.
So here's some graph paper, and these are the requirements: 5 circles, 4 parabolas.
Okay.
One of the best ones I saw was a ball coming off of a skateboard.
Okay.
Where they created this because
Like
it's
a skateboarding ramp.
right. It's because once again it's about their life. So whenever we can put math and their lives together,
perfect. Right.
Yes.
it's a win-win.
I think that's something to think about. So what Carla's saying here is make sure you have requirements for that project. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to give them this art project and say, give me a drawing of a circle and a parabola, give me the equation, and leave it at that, because you will have a student who comes in and says, I gave you one of each, am I good? Right? So let's have some requirements. Let's have them moved off of the center so that we can kind of really get some depth to what they're doing. And then also take into account the fact that, I know I can speak for myself, I am not an artist. So don't worry too much about the artistic element of it. You'll have some students who run with it. But again, it's just a fun way, a different way for them to show you what they've learned. And I think that's really what's important here. I hope these tips have been helpful for you. Good luck with section 9.1.